Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today on the table in front of us is just a new addition to my fixed blade collection. I don't share these that often because I'm not really a fixed blade channel, but every once in a while something comes along that I think is really worth taking a look at. This is the Bark River Grizzly Cub. Now, if you went looking for one of these, you would find a version called the Cub. Now, the reason is this is a first production test run that I picked up from a friend of mine. This is 3V steel. It has a little bit of wear and tear on it, but I am okay with that. This is just a marvelous fixed blade knife, and I wanted to share it. Now, he, of course, the guy that I got it from, makes kydex, and so he made a remarkably great dangler sheath for this thing. It's got a fire stick on it. It is beautiful and exceptionally comfortable to wear. But the knife itself, look, I love Bark River knives. I only have one other, which is the JX5. He did not fall in love with this, my buddy Chris, because he likes more outdoorsy design knives. This has definitely got a little bit of a fighter in it, in its overall shape and design. But well, the first time I picked it up, it's like it was built for me. The release of this, just called the Cub, they got rid of the choil, lengthened the blade a little bit, and changed the fuller a touch. But you still can get basically this same knife if you are interested. As I said, it is 3V, and I got to tell you, Bark River does a remarkable job with their 3V. I have seen people with 3V knives dealing with rust and all sorts of stuff, and I have never, on my JX5, which has been out in the woods a ton and seen a ton of use, had a single issue with it, as long as you care for it appropriately. Now, this one is pinned, and it has a really beautiful mosaic pin in the center. It has a lanyard tube, if you are into that sort of thing. It is nice, thick 3V stock, and I love that blade shape. When I'm camping, I do carry a folding knife, but my primary knives are fixed blades. And recently, my primary knife has been my Bradford Guardian 5-inch, the JX5, and my Rainier Knives Fast Pack, which is a very small knife, which lives on the sheath with my JX5 for small work. I know that this is going to take the place of the Bradford, because this thing is so much more comfortable in hand. Now, don't get me wrong, Bradford makes a fine knife, and it is M390, which means that Bradford, I don't have to worry at all about weather or taking care of the blade. But this is so much more comfortable for me that I think this is going to be my new go-to as part of my outdoor knife kit. And of course, in this fantastic dangler sheath that my buddy made, it is also the knife that I will carry when I'm just carrying one knife. I mean, look at this work. Right, it is absolutely beautiful. This is my buddy Chris. He goes by the Holster Guy. You can find him on Facebook, although the best way to get in touch with me is to ask me, and I will give you his contact information. He does stellar work. He also makes holsters for pistols that are out of this world. One of the things I like most about Bark River as a company is, as you can see, this thing's got, I'm not sure it's going to show up on camera, but this thing's got a little bit of wear on it. He did use it a bit, and it's got some scratches on the blade. I can send this thing back to Bark River, and for the price of shipping, they will completely refinish the knife. If I broke the scale, for instance, they would replace the scale. If I damaged the tip of the knife under normal wear or tear, that includes dropping it, they would either regrind it back to perfection or give me a new one. Some of this wear you're seeing is from, I think, going in and out of the kydex without making sure that it's clean. That can happen. 3V is very, very tough, but it does show wear pretty easily. And I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. If you are looking for a phenomenal outdoor fixed blade, I think that the Bark River Cub, which is what they're called, is probably going to be a great knife for you. Now, some people may not like the shape of the pommel here. I like it because it means that when you are giving this a really good swing, it has something to hang on to at the back of your hand. It's not going to try to like eject itself out, even if you are in the mud and the muck and it's wet. Let's get some specs out of the way. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4 of cutting on 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure why I can't count tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, right at 5 inches of 3V. Man, that took way more work than it should have. The grip area from just behind that choil there, 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches of grip. And of course, with the choil, if you are interested, it takes it out to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4. Now this choil is a little small. Quite frankly, I don't see me using it a lot. To choke up on this blade for fine use, I would go this way or cut like this. But the choil does make for good sharpening. The other thing you could do, of course, is actually make this a larger choil if you were interested and actually bring it out into the blade, which I did with my Becker BK9. I added a working choil just on the other side of the handle. Or, because the one you're going to get has no choil here at all, and you get more cutting area, you may not worry about it at all. I don't know. A good fixed blade is as important as a good folding knife all day, every day. If you are going to have knives that you rely on for your bailout bag or for camping or for outdoors use, having a good set of fixed blades in varying sizes is important. You may use them 1/100th as much as you use your EDC knives, but having them available to you is gonna pay off in the end. And having good ones, look, I think these are about $300. It's not an insignificant investment, but this is the kind of knife where I can use this from now until I am much, much older and then pass it on to my son if I wanted to, and he could use it for his knife going forward, because Bark River makes knives that are going to last and that are just that good. And that's the nice thing about a really good fixed blade. They are generational if you desire. So that's about it. I just wanted to give you a look at something cool that had come along for the collection and for my outdoor use. Once again, this is the, man, that is so hard to see in that light. Anyway, this is the test run, first production. The new ones are not called the Grizzly Cub, they're just called the Cub. And again, they have a slightly different blade shape, but the same handle. So if you're interested, stop by Bark River and take a look. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at this phenomenal fixed blade with me. I know I am happy to have it as part of my outdoor kit. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.